Hi, Alex.
Hello.
Hi, Alex. Welcome to the CASAA weekly update for the week of 5/11/2015. Hi, Alex. How are you this evening?
Good.
Good. So you got to go see Mitch Geller speak. What was that like?
Mitch Zeller.
Zeller, Geller, sorry.
Well, it was pretty unenlightening. I think
So
everybody's
he
sentiment was pretty much that.
so he vagued things up nicely for you?
Um, no, I mean, I barely even remember. There was so much more content with the rest of the conference that him being there was kind of, you know, I guess it
Meh.
was neat.
It's kind of like
I,
meh.
I I'm probably putting my own overemphasis on it and saying that, you know, it was interesting to be at a conference where a federal regulator spoke. I'm sure that some people just experience that every day, but I think that was pretty much the highlight there. I was really unimpressed, and a lot of the questions that ended up getting asked of him, you know, he either couldn't answer or they were relatively softball questions. Um, I mean, you know, if you think about it in the terms of things, no one was really asking anything particularly. Um, I don't know what the word is.
Challenging?
Challenging. There you go. Sorry, my brain's
Yeah.
a little
No
texted out.
reporters in the audience.
Yeah.
So okay. What happened? I know what happened last week because I did the update and I went through like some of the past calls to action and stuff because I wasn't really sure um what to what to talk about, and I think it went okay. So what happened this week, Alex?
Um, oh, for some reason I just lost. Oh, here we go. Okay.
Okay.
I'm having a weird technology day. Let's see. Well, just before the weekend, it looks like, and I'm probably going to need to update some of these, but the HF 848 in Minnesota is now in conference committee, which means it's made up of both representatives from the Senate and the House.
Mhm.
And so there's still the bill itself is kind of a must-pass budget bill that the e-cigarette tax language got slid into. You know, we're watching that, and both us and the Minnesota Vapors Advocacy have a call to action up for that. And so, yeah, if you live in Minnesota, please take action on that now. I don't have any substantial update for that other than it's in committee.
Okay.
Um, and then let's see, what else did we do? HB5 in Delaware is, I believe, yes, we have this listed as could be scheduled for a hearing on this Wednesday, May 13th at 2 p.m. And of course, we've updated our call to action to be directed at the Senate Health and Social Services Committee. So if you're in Delaware, grab a friend and then tell them to grab a friend, and the three of you can sit down in front of a computer and just click the link and click submit and send an email. I guess there's not a lot of people in Delaware to start with, so we have a very small percentage of that who are actually receiving our email alerts, which is too bad because things look a little promising in Delaware. I mean, they'll most likely get an exemption for vapor shops, but um, that's kind of only getting the ball part of the way down the field. It's not really what we'd like to see. So,
Right.
um, Delaware, get your friends together and send a bunch of emails. Um, and I'm going to have to get some clarification on Maine. There was something, so I think this is it, and just bear with me for a minute while I go back through here. We got a message from somebody saying that Maine had pulled HP 670. It was supposed to be in a hearing today. I just want to confirm that that's Maine.
Okay.
And I'm trying to not create a bunch of dead air here.
That's okay. I could talk.
Okay, so yeah, it was Maine, and apparently the bill was pulled from the docket for the hearing today, and apparently this isn't supposed to be discussed until next year. So we're waiting on some confirmation. Pretty much all we have at the moment is that the bill got pulled from the agenda for today, but we're not entirely certain that they're holding off till next year. Either way, take action and tell your lawmakers that taxes on e-liquid is stupid, and they should oppose any bill that wants to do stupid things like that.
That's good, actually.
Yeah.
Don't be a stupid head.
I think Paul Blair is rubbing off on me. So that is Maine, and we have some pending stuff that I don't have. We don't have a call to action out for this and the following things, and I don't have any substantial updates, but we are looking at, I believe, another tax bill in Vermont. We have a call to action for Vermont right now.
Okay.
That's SB 139,
right?
Which was amended to tax electronic cigarettes at 46%, and would add vaping to the state's indoor anti-smoking law.
Right.
So that, as far as I know, people should still be taking action on that. But I have another email here saying that H489, which I don't have updated language for, but this bill will likely be a vehicle for a vapor tax. So waiting on more confirmation on that. And once we get it, we'll probably issue another call to action. So
yeah. I know we updated Port St. Lucie, Florida today. In fact, if you live in Port St. Lucie, Florida, you should be making phone calls and emails right now, if not driving to the
you should be sitting in council chambers.
Yeah, you really should be.
Yeah.
Because second reads are how they pass stuff. At least for this one, I think, is how it's looking. So, yeah. So there was that, and that was today. That I know was today.
Yeah. I got a whole pile of local stuff. I tried to get through. I think I managed to get like 3 local alerts out this weekend.
Okay.
But
they were, oh God, where were they?
I know
because I put them up. I saw and I put them up on Google Plus. Hang on, let me go there. Yeah, I know. We sound really organized, don't we? It's that's because we're not.
Well, it's
Well, I
tough.
think it has to do with the
It's a volume
amount
thing.
with the amount of data and stuff that you two have to keep track of. Honest to God, I don't know how either one of you are even remotely sane.
Oh, there's no sanity anymore. There's no sanity anymore.
So I actually, I believe I updated Westchester County, New York, which is having a hearing right now.
Okay.
All this stuff was happening today, and I got all these alerts like Friday, right around after work, and you know, it's the weekend, and I used that time really to catch up on sleep. So anyway, let's see. So Westchester County, New York, that's meeting right now. Maplewood, Minnesota. This had a sample ban in it, and indoor vaping ban. And I believe this has had public hearing. I don't know if this is. Oh, this is approval of second reading of ordinance. So,
Yeah.
Good luck, Maplewood, Minnesota. And then what else? I know that there's also St. Louis County needs to have something out. I just had a back and forth with Jason from Minnesota Vapors.
Okay.
I don't have it on my list, but that's that. So those were the two. Plus, I updated a couple of things. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, there was some state level stuff that came out too.
Yeah. Of course, there's always state stuff. Thank God for the state stuff. We talked about Maine, and then I guess Minnesota, Fairfax, California. We updated that on the 5th. Not even updated it, but it was an ordinance that would deceptively redefine smoke to include vapor from an electronic smoking device for the purpose of prohibiting vaping in the same places where smoking is currently banned. And that had a hearing Wednesday. I haven't heard anything about it. I'll look into it. Monterey Park, California had a hearing on Wednesday, May 6th, about their moratorium on the establishment of new vapor retail shops. And I'll look into that and see if I can get an update for next time. Because apparently I'm really good at digging out what happens with that. And then Chico, California. A council member requested a ban on vaping where smoking is prohibited. And that had a hearing on Tuesday, April 5th. So I will try to get updates for that. Those were the ones I know that I rebroadcasted that you had done while you were actually away listening to somebody make things as clear as mud. So yeah. What else happened at the SFATA meeting?
It was good. There were a couple of really good panels. Julie was on one of the panels talking about state legislative efforts and legislative efforts in general. You know, there were several good presentations. A lot of it, you know, it's a room filled with industry people, so a lot of it is relevant to industry folks. I was mostly there for, you know, to press some flesh and make some contacts and expand my own email alert email list. But I have to say that I'm very appreciative to SFATA for you know, having us come. We paid our way, but it was good for us to be there. You know, CASAA is not necessarily a SFATA member, even though we work closely with them. So it was very much appreciated that we were allowed to attend, and I feel like I got a lot out of it.
That's good.
And yeah, I have to say that attending these conferences is worlds more productive than going to a vape meet. The expos are all kind of the same. It's tables with booze and free liquid, and people walking around with not enough clothes on, and then get to meet like half a dozen people that stop by the tables.
I bitch about that all the time, Alex.
I miss like the old small, like really small meets. I remember like here in Florida when I first started vaping, it was forever ago. The only game in town was Totally Wicked. And I remember they opened a vape lounge. And we had never heard of such a thing or never even knew they existed. And my husband and I went way up into Florida to see this lounge, and we walked in and it was like we just stopped at the door. There were all these people, and they were normal people, and I'm not saying that people that go to vape expos and stuff are abnormal, but I mean they were just regular people, jeans and t-shirts, normal people vaping, and I'd never seen other people vape. My husband and I were the only people I knew of who vaped at the time. And I just remember grabbing his hand and going, oh my God, this is unreal. And there will never be another moment like that for me.
And I have to, Jan, that is why like VaporCon and Vape Bash, if I can make it to both of those meets in a year, I'm going to consider myself extremely lucky. I've been to all of the VaporCon, and you have to understand, Jan, the very first vape meet I have ever went to, as a matter of fact, the very first vape anything I had ever been to was VaporCon. That was my first exposure to people that vaped that weren't me. I'd never even been in a vape shop. And I walk into VaporCon 1, and there's 2,500 people just walking around vaping. It was absolutely surreal. And to me, those meets still, as big as Vape Bash was this year, it still feels small because they make sure that the tables are there and everybody can sit down and talk and whatever. I've been to 2 trade show type events. I won't go to another one. They're just not my thing. I don't need to look at, naked women walking around in body paint and fishnet. It's just not my thing.
I would love to go to a conference, but they have these things when I have to work. I mean, that's the horrible thing about working in retail. There's only certain times of the year I can take off. Like literally, which is a shame because I would love to attend a conference. That would be great because I love to learn. That's my thing. I'm glad you got good stuff out of it, Alex. That's awesome. So, what's on tap for this week, Alex?
Well, I mentioned Vermont, and what else? Before I forget, I'm just going to rattle off a name of a bunch of cities, and I may get some of this out tonight, but just so that we can actually put them in the links. Let's see. Broward County, Florida has a public hearing tomorrow at 2 a.m. That can't be right.
2 p.m. It's got to be 2 p.m.
I assume that's 2 p.m. And
if they're having a 2 a.m. meeting, I might be able to make it before work because I go to work at 4.
I mean, it is Florida, so maybe you should just get ready. That looks like an indoor use ban. Let's see, Steele County, Minnesota. I'm going to have to look into that. That may or may not become something. Sorry, I'm just doing this roughly. Mequon, Wisconsin.
Okay.
No details available on that.
Nice.
Whatever, it just triggered an alert. Okay. St. Louis County, Minnesota. This is the, what is this? This is the 3rd public hearing This is going to be at 9:30 in the morning, and this looks like some weird boundary type issues with vaping and also just prohibiting indoor use, public places, and so on. Medford, Massachusetts. Again, this is for tomorrow at 7 p.m. Massachusetts Board of Health. All I have is follow-up to paper 14-708. Propose a draft ordinance to regulate the sale and use of electronic cigarettes in the city of Medford.
Okay.
See what happens there. Berkeley, California. This was, I believe, Berkeley was considering lifting their moratorium.
Okay.
If
On
that
vape
was
shops?
the deal. Yeah. It looks like they've moved on to requiring a tobacco retail license, which is something that we're also a bit uncomfortable with.
Right.
Because of, I think Julie has actually mentioned this several times, what happened in Iowa.
See, I don't understand why they can't have them register with the Department of Health. You know what I mean? Register, pay a fee, not make it a tobacco license. But that's neither here nor there.
Because that makes a little bit too much sense. And
I'm sorry.
Be relatively easy.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's Berkeley, and I'll look into that and probably work on updates are relatively easy. And then the big one here is Sonoma City, Sonoma, California.
Wine country?
It's about to be whatever country, because it looks like they're looking to prohibit the sale of electronic cigarettes throughout the city. So no one can sell. No one can sell the vapes.
Whoa. Okay. Okay. If you is the list in the folder of doom?
It will be. I just
okay.
kind of got back up on my feet and started working on this.
Okay. When you're when I'm done here, I'll just go and start working down the list systematically. My Google Foo's pretty good.
Cool. And then before I cut out here, this is another call to action that we'll probably be putting out within the next 2 or 3 days. And I'm sure that a lot of people have already seen this. HR 2058 has been introduced into the U.S. House.
Yes.
This bill would move the grandfather date for new tobacco products up to when the FDA deeming regulations are finalized.
Yeah.
They're implemented, whatever that means. This is one of those little nuggets of information that I think I got at the conference was even when FDA drops regulations, nothing's really set in stone. And I know there's a term for this, but so you go like the modified risk tobacco application that Swedish Match recently went through.
Oh,
they're sort of like a trial case.
Right.
No one's ever successfully navigated this, and so it's since they're the first one, FDA is sort of making this up as they go along. So that's why when I have a little bit of hesitation about when the FDA regulations are finalized, that's just something gets written in a journal. That's not actually final regulations. It's all just sort of being made up on the fly.
Well, yeah, but we're also going to have time to comment on that again, I believe, before they implement. And the wheels of big government, extremely big government, federal government, tend to roll pretty slow. You know, there is no way to rush through these regulations, although the aunties would love us to. there's just no way to rush that through, especially with it being something so new. They have no idea what the hell they're doing.
Well, I would also argue that even if they did rush through them, I mean, if the FDA came back tomorrow and was like, we're done, we finalized it, here you go, even then, there's nothing final about it. It's just kind of, it's just a bunch of words somewhere. It doesn't really seem that there's nothing concrete. There's no defined pathway to approval. There's no, there's a lot of vagaries in whatever they put out. And
Right.
I don't even, I know that somebody used a term, and it's sort of it's like was it like a ban by process or something like that? Anyway, I've gotten kind of off the topic, but I just at least want to put it out there so that we can have a link for it in this podcast, and people can go for it once we finally get it up. HR 2058, we are supportive of this, and we will be, I believe there are several districts that will be focusing on. The bill has 3 or 4 co-sponsors or authors, and of course this is being put forth by Representative Cole out of Oklahoma. So we may even set it up so that people from all over the country can send nice letters to him and express their support and gratitude.
Yes.
So just keep your eyes peeled for that.
Yeah, no, it's certainly not where I think we need to be, but it's a good positive first step. And it means that at least some of the Congress critters are actually listening to their constituents, which is kind of nice for a change. So that's a good thing to end on a positive note. I think.
Yeah, positive enough.
Yeah. And I will see you later on tonight. Thank you, Alex, for everything you do. Please join CASAA if you've not already done so. Just joining us on the Facebook groups or the Facebook pages, the Google Plus, Twitter, Instagram, that's not really a substitute. If you go to CASAA.org, there's a link for you to join us. Please join us so that we can help you to protect yourself from the overreaching regulations by the government and to your personal freedoms to vape. Thank you, Alex. Have a great night.
Thanks.
Thanks.
See you.
See you.